right, we have coming up to the red carpet, Sequoia Stafford. Hi, Sequoia. Hi, Sequoia. All right, Sequoia has written the book, It's Hard, Sexual Satisfaction Secrets to Beat Erectile Dysfunction. Sequoia, this such a love the title, love the play. It's a great title. It's enticing, and I really want to know, like, what made you write this book? Why did you write this particular book, and who did you write it for?
Thank you. Well, I'm a sex coach and tantra educator, and after Me Too, I thought there's going to be a ton of women who are going to come see me now because of everything that was going on with Me Too. And what actually happened was I started seeing a whole bunch of men, that were dealing with different forms of erectile dysfunction that were coming from traumas in their life or relationships that didn't work. And I love men. In the acknowledgement of my book, I acknowledge the men in my life. Yeah. The men of the past that are no longer here, my boyfriends that are no longer here, my ex-husband. Because I have a love of men, when I started seeing these men come into my office and what they were dealing with that they couldn't talk about, there was no space in Me Too for them to talk about, but they could talk to me about it. And I started teaching them through my process, which I call sex magic. I actually break down sex as sacred experiences of ecstasy. And through the process, I teach them to have reverence for their body, however it shows up, because it's always going to show up differently. It's not going to be hard all the time, right? But we women don't need you to be hard all the time. This is something that most men don't realize, because we're addicted to pornography in this country, around the world. Pornography is one of the biggest epidemics as far as addictions go right now, and not just older men, adults. It goes even as far down as 10 years old. So we're seeing erectile dysfunction in men even younger. In teens.
So this book is for the men who are experiencing this and wanting that intimacy and connection and all of that, but they feel like the erectile dysfunction is just a total barrier.
Right.
And you're saying, no, that's not true.
Yeah, and they need somebody to talk to about it, somebody that they can feel comfortable with, and they're not going to talk to their male friends because it is a masculine issue. So they come to me, we get it straight, we get it all on board, and I teach them how to have sexuality for themselves first, which most men are always outside of them dealing with their sexuality. So themselves first, and then I teach them how to relate to women. And that's why this book is very specifically for men, but their partners can use the book too, and this is a great book for women to understand men more. I talk about men's heart castle, which I learned from my Tantra teacher, Leah.
Oh my gosh, I love that, heart castle.
Yeah, well, she taught us that men get wounded in the heart, and their heart is what really runs their, what I call lingam, which is the Sanskrit word for the male's genitalia, and it means wand of light. So you'll see on the cover of my book, it's all about light and energy and flames, and that's because your lingam can do way more than be hard. It can send energy through a woman's body, and the heart castle is what we need to heal in men so that they can be virile and have their manhood back again, really.
And create the intimacy. I mean, I'm hearing that this is a gift, of course, to men, but also a gift to the women in their lives, right? And so, yeah, so beautiful. I'm so glad that it's out there. It's out there now. You can get it now. So, Janelle McKinley from Chicago, Illinois wants to know, do you have any advice for people like me who are interested in writing on topics people are scared to touch? You are an expert on that.
Sign language for yes.
Yes, you do.
Yes. Excuse me. So, writing this book was really challenging for me because writing about sex in general is one thing, but talking about really discrete topics about what people are going through with sexuality, as we saw with Me Too, right? But I had to reveal how intimate my work is with someone as a sex coach. And so I remember at one point I was getting coached by Dr. Angela, and she pointed to me and she goes, "You just don't want people to know what you do." And I was like, oh, shit.
Cut.
That's right. So I got off the phone with her and I got on the phone with my mom and I said, "Mom, I just want you to know you can trust who I am and what I do. And what I do is heal men's hearts and their bodies and make them be able to relate to their partners even better than ever before. People might talk, people might say what I do is something other than what I do. Just trust that you know me as my daughter, or as your daughter."
Yeah.
And she was like, "Oh, honey, I totally got you. Your dad and I love you. You don't have to worry about that." And I said, "I just want you to be proud of me." And she goes, "I'm proud of you."
Yeah, it's that coming from the heart, right? Like, talking about topics that people are scared to touch is such a gift to the world because we don't get enough of it. So beautiful. So let's share your book with the world. Yes. It's hard. Sexual satisfaction secrets. Woo! Yeah. Yes, thank you, Sequoia. Sexual satisfaction secrets to beat erectile dysfunction. Awesome. I was going to finish that no matter what.